Hello?
Ding dong. Oh, hi, Danny.
Hey, Brandi.
Hello, happy day.
Happy day, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
And Olive says hello too.
Olive, my three-legged dog. Shh. It's not your cue yet, Olive.
She's just so excited. Can we
Good
get
morning.
a microphone for the
Good
dog?
day. Good evening and good night.
Mark, our tech, to get Olive mic'd up.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good.
Good week?
Great week. Super productive. In our last podcast, we were talking about eliminating distractions. And I feel like I made that effort to do that. And it really helped with the productivity of my week.
Oh, that's good to hear.
How was your week?
It was great. Friends in town, unicorn parties.
Come on.
Come on. What more could you ask for?
Yeah. While you were at the unicorn party, I was at the Space Cowboy roller skate party.
Roller skates of death, as they call it.
Yes. And it was very fun. But just the fact that we're in a city where you can go to a unicorn party or a Space Cowboy roller skate party is pretty cool.
And then you can go snowboarding, which I'm going to try to do tomorrow.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so where we left off last time, I think we talked a lot about what I did in my past.
Yes.
In terms of biochemistry and all that boring stuff.
That was not boring, so...
Okay, well...
Anyway, go on.
I want to hear more about Fashion Denver.
Sure. What
sure
specifically would you like to know about Fashion
Just
Denver?
give us the headlines, you know?
Right.
What is it?
So,
how long have you been doing it?
I'm going to give you the nutshell story, but back when I was 8 years old, I was designing paper purses in third grade, and I was calling myself the Paper Purse Police. And then right out of college, I ended up starting a real handbag business. Just because I loved handbags and I was passionate about handbags and organizing handbags. And that ended up taking off. And I ended up in LA and San Francisco and Paris doing these really fun opportunities. Oui, bah ouais. And this is like the super duper in a short nutshell story, but in 2004, I moved back to Denver, and I wanted to take everything that I had learned from having my own fashion business and use those experiences to help other designers start their businesses. So Fashion Denver is turning 15 this year, and it's really an organization company in which I can connect our local fashion community. So I do a lot of consulting, emceeing, production of fashion events, and really just providing an opportunity for designers to have a platform to shine. So that's what Fashion Denver is. I think when you can share your experiences from what you've done and through the hard parts and the fun parts, and then use those experiences to help other people see that they can do it too. That's what life is all about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for you viewers and listeners that want more information on how awesome Brandi is, there is a 303 magazine article all about you.
Yes.
All about her.
Yeah.
So check it out. We'll put the link in the comments.
Yeah. Somewhere where this is going.
Yeah.
Thank you so much also just for your support, because it's great. It's nice to have somebody who can kind of hype you up, because it's hard to hype yourself up, but I appreciate your encouragement.
Hype Mandy.
So that's Fashion Denver. I even have a jingle, so I'll send you over the jingle too.
Oh,
it's pretty
perfect.
fun. Yeah.
Fashion Denver jingle?
Yep.
It's Fashion Denver, FashionDenver.com.
Yeah. It'll get stuck in your head, and then you'll be like,
.com in there.
Yeah, .com.
Expedia.com.
.com. This podcast is not sponsored by Expedia, but we have used it. Have you used Expedia?
Not for eons.
Yeah, same.
I go to Kayak.
Huh.
If I want to know a general pricing for flights and travel, and maybe cars too, although I found the car ones, it's dodgy. But for flights, I'll go to Kayak. I know a lot of people use Google Flights. I'll get a general price, and then that way, I go to United to get my points.
Yep. Okay.
But if I feel like I'm really missing out on a great price, then I might go somewhere else. But kayak's good
interesting.
too. I do that. Expedia, been a while.
Yeah. It's kind of like, did
that
you
William
use
Shatner?
Alta Vista to get to Expedia? Do you remember Alta Vista?
No, no.
Okay, never mind.
No, I don't remember that. Anywho, little bit about what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully tomorrow, snowboarding.
Awesome. Yes.
And I'd like to do another snowboard guitar song going down the mountain.
Oh, yes. Is it going to be called He'll Be Coming Around Down the Mountain with His Guitar?
Actually, I should do that.
And I should lend you my waterproof ukulele.
That is the next thing. I feel like I need to keep on extending out because I've done the snowboarding thing with the guitar. I've done biking with the guitar. I'd like to do something water based.
How cool
So,
would it
like,
be to water?
wake surfing.
Oh yeah, you can't water. You have to hold.
That fall down on you.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
technical difficulties.
It's all part of real life
You can
with
adjust your pop
Danny
screen.
and Brandi.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good? Okay.
Okay, but I came across this article. I think we talked about this briefly about chairlift speed dating.
Oh, yes.
And this, I think, is a brilliant idea. I just have a little brief snippet here. A new twist on speed dating. A Wisconsin ski resort is working with a matchmaking company to offer lonesome singles a chance to meet their mate while riding up the hill on a chairlift, calling it chairlift speed dating. Nearly 100 people paid $58 to participate in the Wilmot Ski Resort's event. That's in Wisconsin. They filled out a survey asking their age, interests, and what they're looking for in a potential mate. The next step was to show up at the resort about an hour southwest of Milwaukee with ski gear and an open mind. That kind of sounds weird when they say that. An open mind, like this is going to turn into like a 4-chair orgy going up the mountain with an open mind. Once the matchmaker groups the couples, they head to the ski lift. They have just 3 minutes to decide if it's a good match. That's the amount of time it takes to get from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill, which tells you a little something about Wisconsin skiing.
Yeah.
3-minute lift? Come on.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm kind of a ski snob, but 3 minutes, that's a tiny hill.
That is a tiny hill.
Is that a magic carpet ride? That's the green lift.
Oh, okay.
Where they just have that little carpet conveyor belt that takes
okay.
you up.
Yeah.
I think that takes about 3 minutes in Breckenridge. Anyway, so they have 3 minutes to decide. And then when they get to the top, that's when they decide, are we going to ski together or are we going to ski apart?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's
Interesting.
brilliant.
I think it's super fun.
And I'd like to try it.
I would love to try it.
Have you ever done speed dating?
I've never done speed dating, but I've thought about it.
There was one speed dating event down the block at Vital Route. Mm-hmm. And I was going to do it with a friend, but then she was like, nah, let's not do it.
I don't know. Okay, so you and I were both single, correct?
Correct.
So, like, as being speedy and, like, really getting to, like, what do you look for in a mate? Like, I want to hear, what do you look for in a mate, Danny?
That's a great question. I look for, I don't know. There's many things, and again, like the island story, this could go down a real rabbit hole. But I'd say top line, I find that I need somebody to complement my personality. Mm-hmm. I'm a little crazy, and I need somebody to be like the down to earth, cool one that
Can
lines
ground
things
you.
up and gets things on a task where I can go out and do my creative weird stuff.
Yep.
And obviously, like having somebody that can keep up on the ski slope would be great. That's why I'm so intrigued by this chairlift speed dating. And I guess there's many things, but That's it'll take forever to go through that list. What
Okay.
about you? What's the top one?
I would say top one is just a lover of loving love. Somebody who loves to serve others and loves to love me. Somebody who's kind. Somebody who just wants to go on adventures and travel the world doing good. And also just somebody who's driven. Like, drive is important to me. And I also really would love to meet someone who's joyful on their own. You know, have you ever been in a relationship or dating someone where it's like they need you to be joyful, or they need...
Oh, yeah, that's the worst.
And that's hard. And
It's an
I feel
energy
like,
suck.
yeah, it's an energy suck. And I think it's so easy. And as someone who spent their 20s and 30s kind of constantly in a relationship and now really taking... Like, I haven't had a boyfriend for a few years.
Oh, really?
And I've really taken just that time to just get to know myself and get to know who I am and find that contentment within me. And I want someone who's content in who they are and who's joyful on their own and who doesn't need me to like fill a hole, but they're already whole. So I'm just excited to see what the future holds. And, you know, I think I've also learned I'm not going to settle. Like, sometimes it's so easy to feel lonely that you kind of are like, well, this person will do for now, 'cause I kind of feel lonely.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say no to that temporary fix. But in the long run, it's just so great to actually to be able to just kind of say no and to be like, no, I'm not going to settle and I'm holding out.
Yeah. I was just talking to a buddy who's kind of going through this, I don't know what's going to happen. And I think I've found myself in the position of being with somebody because it's comfortable.
Yep.
And then you're just like, well, you know, this isn't ideal and this is probably not the person that I should end up with, but it'll do for now. And when that person comes along, I'll know, and then I'll, you know, hop off this train and board another one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way, which
Yep.
I found, you know, your energy and your time and just your presence ends up being invested in somebody else. And then you don't have that time to be around and just like when that person does come along, you know, you're tied up in something else. So
Yeah.
I've made it, I think what we were talking about last time, just eliminating, you know, the stuff that is not healthy for you.
Right.
And embrace when something does come along. So yeah, I just don't feel, you know, in the meantime, I'm all about having like fun adventures and like, you know, I probably get myself into a lot of predicaments, but I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
But realizing that, like, you know, when somebody does come along, that I'll be able to identify it, and then, you know,
Awesome.
we'll see.
So that's love
But
with Danny and Brandi.
I think somebody should bring chairlift speed dating to Colorado,
and
because
I
I
know
would hop on that.
specifically which resort to.
Which one?
A little place right on the cusp of where the tunnel is. A little place called
Loveland, Brandy.
on Valentine's Day. Yeah, we're gonna propose that. Duh. Speed dating.
Welcome to Loveland.
So let's put that on our to really
Come
make
with
happen.
an open mind.
Okay, here's something that might deter me. What if, like, in the speed dating process, totally found or met this awesome dude and he totally couldn't snowboard? Like, that would kind of be a...
Well, that's all part of the process, right?
Yeah, but do you, like, if they're super awesome but they're not good at snowboarding, would that be a deal breaker for me?
Well, I think that's something that you have to decide.
Right.
I think this whole thing is setting up like hey, you know, a big part of dating is like finding people that have common interests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so immediately, you know, you're on the mountain, you know, people that snowboard and stuff and ski, you know, are big adventurers, and having somebody that can hang is very important.
Super important.
You know, and I grew up with, like, my dad is super, you know, energetic and will go out. And my mom, you know, did skiing just so, you know, we could be with the family. And I think she enjoyed it too. But, you know, she doesn't do it as much.
Yeah.
My dad does. So you know, I'm perfectly fine if I meet the love of my life, having them not snowboard
Right.
and hang out at the lodge or something. But it would be awesome to meet
Yeah.
somebody that can do that too.
Yeah.
But either way, you kind of set the stage that you're out there, you're doing something outdoorsy, you're open, you've got an open mind.
Mind.
Bring an open mind. Get on the 6 chair. Ooh. So you've set the stage that you're ready for adventure, and then you're on the chair, and there's nothing else to do except chat.
Right.
I feel like sitting on a chairlift is a great opportunity to get to know people better.
Absolutely.
And then you ski, and if you can keep up with each other, then
Yep.
you ride up the chair again.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
in love with this
Yeah.
idea, and somebody
Yeah.
better bring it
We
to
will.
frickin'
We
Loveland.
will.
I
We
personally
will.
wouldn't like it to be at Loveland because I have the Epic Pass.
Yeah,
so
but-
you could do Breckenridge. You can do a tour. You could do multiple different places all around Summit County. I'm all about it.
I'm all
And
about it. That sounds super fun.
I'm going to.
And honestly, like I actually most of the time snowboard a lot by myself anyway. So I go up
You're
there.
a lonely single.
Yeah.
Looking
Well, I'm
for,
not a lonely single, but I'm a lone single.
You're a lone single, and I love that there's a singles line too.
Yeah. Oh, even if I'm not totally alone, I'll still hit the singles line and be like, "Come on, let's go."
Maybe we shouldn't even think about just having this be an event, but we should have ski places incorporate a singles line, singles and looking or something.
Oh,
So you go in the singles
oh.
line, but if you're a single and looking, then
Yeah.
they pair you up.
Yeah,
with
it's
other
kind of like at
singles.
church when the pastor's like, "All right, all the single people, look around, hope and scope." It's kind of like that, but that's fun. I
Yeah.
like that idea. Or maybe it doesn't even have to be an event. Maybe we just make a group on Facebook and we're like, "Hey guys, we're doing this thing. Meet at the singles line at Breckenridge at this time."
Come with an open
Yeah,
mind.
come with an open mind. I love it. Let's do it. That sounds
Okay,
fun.
perfect. Next order of business.
Okay.
An advertisement
Okay.
for Atomo molecular coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
This is something amazing, and you should definitely check it out
Okay.
online. Atomo molecular coffee. They are food scientists, biochemists, entrepreneurs, and above all, I messed that up. Above all, coffee addicts. And they've reverse engineered the coffee bean to create a better cup of coffee, all while helping to protect the environment for generations to
Love
come.
it.
These people, and by these people, we'll talk about this later. I'm slightly involved, and that's why this is free advertisement. So, coffee, as you know, is like number 2 commodity in the world.
What's
a
the
lot of
number one?
energy. I'll give you one guess.
Beer? Oh, I don't have no idea.
No, I mean just think about what you need to fill up your car with.
Gas.
Oil, yeah.
Oil?
Is number
Okay,
1.
okay.
Coffee number 2. And this is a very, very labor-intensive process. You have to, have a very specific part of the world, the coffee belt around, I forget what the exact latitude is, or longitude, latitude. Mm-hmm. I don't know, you can correct us.
Longitude is long. Latitude is...
Ah, yes. So
Yeah.
the latitude, it has to be within a certain distance from the equator.
Okay.
And then on top of that, you have to have the right altitude. So you have to be up on a, mountain or hill. And then you have to have all the right conditions to make coffee. So you've got to
Wow.
grow coffee. Then you've got to get people to pick the coffee. Then you've got to process the coffee, which means you got to take the cherry off, the bean. There's multiple different ways of washing and drying it. Then you've got to store it somewhere. And then you've got to import and export it. And then you've got to roast it. And then you've got to serve it at some cafe.
Wow.
So there's many steps, many billions of dollars traded hands. And, there's a lot of socioeconomical issues around the world in terms of what coffee farmers make, what the people working on the coffee farmers make, how much importers and exporters make. There's just a lot of history with
Wow,
coffee too.
yeah.
So what Atomo is trying to do is basically take the molecules that make up the taste, which include acidity, bitterness, caramels, cocos, all the flavors and all the compounds that make those flavors, that give it body, mouthfeel, and identify what we really are attracted to in coffee, and basically make coffee from a molecular standpoint using
Wow.
natural extracts. So this is a new company, and if you can do this, and if you can find extracts that are easier to get, their goal is to make coffee without using the coffee bean, which we are also seeing coffee production may go down in the future, or at least coffee may become more scarce because of climate change. You've got coffee farms not as productive once global temperatures rise. That means they have to basically move up the hill to colder temperatures, which means they have to deforest, jungles and all that. There's a lot of issues that may come to be, and coffee may become a luxury for people. So Atomo is trying to make coffee from a molecular standpoint. And it's very novel. And you can check out atomocoffee.com and check out the Kickstarter. You can even buy coffee, which will be delivered in the Q4 of 2019.
Awesome.
Anyways, Atomo Coffee, check it out.
Cool. And that's the red hat you have over there in the corner.
No, that is not.
Nope. Okay.
No. But we do have red hats too.
Okay, cool. One of the things I love about just brands in general is their branding. So I'm excited to see
you
the
just
Atomo
like
brand.
branding because it's brandy. It's in your name.
Branding with brandy.
It's in your
no,
DNA.
but I really do love brand. I love
brand.
I love brands. To go back on what you had talked about last week and you studying molecular biology, was it?
Yes.
It just fascinates me. Like when you drink a cup of coffee, you don't think, or at least I don't think about the science behind it. And I just am fascinated how just the molecular burpity burp burp to make that coffee is. Like, that's really cool.
I think a lot of geeks like me geek out over coffee because there is so much science involved in terms of getting flavors to come out. If you're doing espresso, we're talking there's dry weights, there's wet weights. I'm a big geek and I'll get a scale and measure how many beans go into my grinder and then how much, coffee is extracted from that.
Right.
You can geek out for ages. And I think Atomo, not to plug it again, I think Atomo, I think there's so much ritual behind coffee and the way, where it comes from, the flavors, the way that it's processed, what part of the world. I think, we never want to let go of that. And
right.
There's so much beauty in like a product like coffee and so many others where it has a story to tell.
Yeah.
And then you can take that and there's so many different ways to express it. You have
espresso.
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 There's no X in there.
Sorry, espresso.
You can use espresso machine. And then from espresso, you can make many different delicious drinks using milk and, almond milk, whatever you want to call it. Butter coffee. You can use a Chemex, AeroPress, a crazy Todd Carmichael from La Colombe, which is that red hat over there, has this thing called the Dragon, which looks like a bong, but you can make coffee out of it.
Yes, I've had one of those, and those are delicious. And, coffee, coffee really does taste different with all of those different methods.
Oh,
I
amazing.
personally am not really a geek about coffee, but when I'm around coffee geeks, you really it opens your mind. And then it just, now when I have coffee, I'm like, wow, the flavor of this. So that'd be fun actually to do a coffee tasting.
Oh,
and we could do a coffee 101 and you can teach me stuff.
I will teach you stuff. I have green coffee and I'm a big geek and I roast it right here at the studio.
Cool.
And, we can do coffee tastings. We can show different locations. I'd actually start a whole podcast, a whole different podcast about tasting coffee and all that. So anyways, more talk for another episode. I think we've covered quite a bit in a little bit of time.
What time? How long have we been speaking with one another?
I don't even know.
Oh.
Time goes by so quickly.
Yeah. Love and coffee beans.
Love and coffee beans. Is that our theme?
Yeah, just for this episode, love and coffee beans.
Love. Are you saying love and coffee beans?
Love
or
and
love and
coffee beans? But you're loving coffee beans.
I love coffee beans. I think maybe too, I should come up with some kind of speed dating coffee tasting.
Yes.
Yeah, actually that's a great idea because when you have a coffee tasting, you have a bunch of different cups that you set out. You grind up the beans, you mix the hot water, and then you go around almost in a circle tasting the different flavors.
Yeah.
We could set something up where it's speed dating coffee tasting. I like that.
Speed dating, coffee tasting, dating your coffee beans.
We'll come up with that jingle.
Yeah.
Dating your coffee beans.
Because we're all human beings drinking coffee beans. Yeah. So what are you up to after our podcast today, Danny?
Going to the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, good. I'm going to have dinner with my best friend, Amy, who is also adopted. She was adopted from Korea. I was adopted from the Philippines. And I haven't seen her for a few weeks. So we have a lot to catch up on. And I'm excited for
are you
that.
going to go out
I don't know,
to dinner?
somewhere on Tennyson. Where do you have any recommendations?
What kind of food do you want to eat?
Anything. Food. I like food.
You know, this actually brings up a good point. This will tail end our podcast. I think it would be great to feature a little local business in Denver. So yeah, if you want a recommendation, what are you looking for? What kind of flavors?
I have not thought that far. Something inexpensive and delicious on the healthier side.
Mm-hmm.
And I will eat anything.
Well, I think I will recommend Vital Root for you.
Oh, okay.
Have you been?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Vital Root, it's a Justin Cucci restaurant. So you may be familiar with Root Down, Linger. This is a big advertisement for Justin Cucci. Root Down, one of my favorites. L5, probably one of my top 5 places in Denver. Linger, Ophelia's Electric Soapbox. Is that what it's called? And then Vital Root is his, and there's Vital, it's like a yoga studio on Tennyson too. They came together and made a almost like quick service health food. It's primarily vegetarian, a lot of vegan food, but very delicious.
Okay.
And it's done almost like, I guess quick service would be the most accurate description.
Okay.
Where you line up, you order, take your number, they bring it out to you. And I will say one of my favorite features about Vital Root is they have a tap of water where you can get regular, I think room temperature, chilled, and sparkling, all on tap. Very fun.
That's exciting.
You can serve yourself.
That's awesome.
Highly recommend it.
I love sparkly water. You know, I'm kind of taking a hiatus from drinking alcohol. And so I've been experimenting, like, you know, it's so easy to drink. Like, you go out with your friends after work for happy hour, you go and meet up and you have a beer. And so I've been just experimenting what it's like to go out and not drink. And for whatever reason, just ordering bubbly water with the lemon, it does the trick. And
it's the best.
Like, I feel like I'm drinking something and it feels good going down, and yet there's no alcohol involved, and it's just been nice. Like, I know that you had spent all of January not drinking. Isn't it amazing how when you don't drink, you see how much we do drink when we don't realize that we drink?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm kind of just I'm experimenting with myself. And then also, like, what are the social, like, how is it to be social when you're not drinking with people who are drinking? You know, how do you perceive other people? What are your conversations like? Like, you know, as the night gets later and later, like, these conversations get wild. They can get real wild. So how is it when you are completely stone cold sober, talking to your friends who might have a little buzzed or be just totally drunk?
I will say I love it. I got into the zone where I was like you said, I get like club soda, lime, maybe, you know, a little bit of orange juice or something to spice it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels so good to be clear-headed. I will say the one thing that's a little annoying is, like, as the night progresses and people are getting, like, wasted, then it's like you're on a different level, and it's it's not as fun to
that's
be
when it's time
like
to go.
sober while everybody's on that drunken level.
Right. Yeah.
But for the most part, I had a great time. I would also go play beer pong with a bunch of friends at one of the bars, and I would just get a pitcher of water and
Awesome.
and play. I'm horrible at beer pong, though, I will say. And being sober does not help. I think I'm probably better drunk.
Another really quick question: where do sober people hang out in the evenings and on weekends?
That's a good question. We need more things for sober people.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Daybreaker, which we had another Daybreaker, which was
I got
fun
to be
in Boulder.
Danny's light girl.
Yep. Yeah, we'll pop a clip on there.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And we need more stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so all about this Daybreaker thing.
Yeah.
You do yoga, which I love doing, and then you do a dance party.
Yeah, you just
No
do the
alcohol.
dance party, no alcohol.
No alcohol. And
Yeah.
it's a great place. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of attractive girls there too.
Yeah. And
so-
boys.
And boys.
And guys, men.
And guys.
Yeah.
So
People. There's a lot of attractive people.
highly recommend going to Daybreaker.
Yeah.
You should check it out. It's probably in your city.
Yep.
It's definitely here. We know the people that
In
run it.
Denver, where it's 32 degrees.
That's right. No specific date, but
No
it is
specific
32 degrees.
Yeah, that's why I like adventurizing. That's why I like snowboarding, wakeboarding. Like that's why I like to be active, but you don't do those things at night. So I would just like to know, like, what's something fun to do at night that doesn't involve drinking. And I really love having super intellectually deep conversations. So like, where do you meet those people?
Yeah. There's a place down here called Book Bar. And
Oh,
it is a bar, and they do serve wine. But I think you go there easily. Just start chatting up a storm with somebody about a book. And it's very like a community-based place. So maybe you go to Vital Root tonight with your friend and then go check out Book Bar, mate.
Book bar, like
And it wouldn't be complete if we didn't end talking in some kind of
accent.
accent.
It's so funny. Like for the first 2 minutes of our last podcast, I didn't really even realize that I had an accent until I was watching myself, and I was like, "Oh."
My friend listened to our podcast, and she's like,
Oh, she kind of threw me off because she had an accent and then she didn't have one. I was a little confused.
Yeah. Were you like, she was just playing?
"Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
she's just playing."
She just
You'll
playing.
get to know her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You never
You'll get
know
to
what
know her.
accent I'm gonna have or what
That's right.
language I might speak.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah. Nobody knows.
Anywho, beans and love.
Yeah.
Love and beans.
Love and beans.
Check out
That.
Atomo Coffee.
Yeah.
Check out Fashion Denver.
Yeah.
Check out Brandy's awesome article on 303 Mag. You will appreciate it. And we'll chat at you later, huh?
Yeah, wait, actually, what one thing do you want to leave our viewers, listeners, hearers with, like we did last week? Like,
Oh, I thought it was love and beans.
no, but that's not like a question that people can ask themselves and then go forward.
Well, I thought what you just said was great too.
What did I say?
Where do people go?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
so
we
tell us.
Put it in the comments.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Where do people go for sober fun and deep conversation?
Yeah.
Or maybe not so deep, but
Yeah.
conversation.
You know, I just thought about that's the other reason I like this chairlift speed dating is there's no alcohol involved. You know?
Unless you're one of those people who has a little
hip
flask.
flask,
Yeah. Except for that.
You get on the chair. Hey there, darling. You just fall off the chair.
Darling. Awesome. Well, everybody, until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.
Yes, Zaichen.
Taichen.
As they say.
Konnichiwa. Ciao, Bella.
Later. The Danny and Brandi Show brought to you by the Space Brigade.